I wanted to make this video as someone who suffered with chronic pain for over 10 years, widespread throughout my entire body, whole host of different symptoms, the works, because I've had a very strange relationship with pain. And it's only now, as I'm sort of coming out the other side and truly healing and realizing and recognizing things that were just wrong, and the legitimacy of some of the things I was experiencing and the true nature of what I was experiencing. Now, I'm no expert or doctor or neurologist or whatever. I'm simply talking out of the authority of my experience that I lived with, dealt with, managed, and now I'm overcoming 10 years of chronic pain. These are just ideas, concepts, and things that realizations really, now looking back on my time in the dark, and as I'm coming out of it, what I'm really questioning and how I ended up where I was. So don't take what I'm saying as the law. You might not even learn anything from this, but there's a lot of people who are stuck in the same way that I was, and it can be so hard to see an out. It can be so hard to even perceive the world in a different light. So I want to try and be quick with this. Don't take what I'm saying too seriously, but this is really things that after 10 years I've had to actually come to terms with and question and really think about. So, pain and suffering. Now, this is a very toxic relationship that, if you have to deal with, it's fun if you make it fun, but one causes the other and the other worsens the former. So pain itself is the perception, is the response to the stimuli, and is sent through the body through neurons and receptors. I think they're called nociceptors. I'm not an expert, but pain is the actual physical response. So that hurting, that is pain, right? That is the physical response I feel from the stimulus. Now, suffering, on the other hand, is the emotional and cognitive response and interpretation of the physical pain. Now, this is influenced by a lot of things, much more than you think. For example, if you are already in a bad mood, you had an argument with someone, or you had a bad day at work, or you're just feeling a bit depressed and you stub your toe, that's going to be a lot worse than if you were to just stub your toe feeling good. Or if you are having an amazing day and you're killing it and you've smashed all your targets for the day and you get a paper cut, it's probably not going to be that bad. So your mood can affect your perception of the physical pain. But this brings me to some points, some concepts, some ideas that I've really had to question myself on and question reality itself. Now, like I said, I'm not an expert, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I'm not any figure of authority, but these I have dealt with and overcome 10 years of chronic pain, and these are things that I've come to realize, and it's not easy to accept these things. It's not easy, but these are just ideas. You don't have to accept them, but just be open to the ideas of them. And so there's a lot of stuff that I've had to question. This is some of the things that I've had to reluctantly accept and really think about, really question, and really come to terms with when it came with overcoming, facing head on my chronic pain, because I wanted to overcome it. I was sick and tired of suffering all day, every single day. And you don't have to take my word for it. Like I said, just question it in yourself and just have a think about it. Now, there's a lot of things and methods that are used to overcome and deal with pain, and there seems to be a very, very specific common denominator with them all. First of all, you've got the placebo. Now, this boils down to two groups. Both have the same ailments, both suffering with the same pain. One group is under a certain treatment, the other group is using nothing, but they are told they're being treated, and they will still heal, even if they're not being physically treated with the product or whatever technique or whatever. So this just shows you that it's all mental. Second one is distraction, right? So many times I would be in agonizing pain and it would just be awful, and then 10 minutes would go past or 15 minutes would go past and I would suddenly start hurting again. And it's like that gap in between, I wasn't in pain, right? Because my mind was preoccupied. There was a detachment from the sensation of suffering, right? Because my mind is too busy watching a video, it's too busy staring at the wall, it's too busy looking outside, it's too busy going for a walk. And so this detachment just shows you that the actual suffering itself is all mental. Cognitive behavioral therapy. Now, I never went through this, but from what I know, it's just intentionally changing your thoughts and actively thinking of other things and keeping the mind preoccupied. This is the same as distraction, but intentional, right? And so you are actively changing your thoughts, detaching from the suffering. It's entirely mental. Neuroplasticity. This is where your brain becomes adapted to the sensations, the stimulus of pain, and you become accustomed to it and used to it, and it's not as detrimental as it was when it first started. For example, getting tattoos for 6 to 8 hour sessions. By about hour 5, you're just there, right? Because your mind has sort of drowned it out, and that's sort of raised the base level of pain so that you don't feel anything below that. It takes a lot to get more to it. So when it comes to neuroplasticity, you keep raising the bar and the pain just keeps getting worse and worse because you're set at this level, right? Your mind has been set at this level. And so as things aren't getting better, it's getting worse because you perceive yourself in pain. And so your mind is consciously making it worse so that you can still be in pain because you're not feeling pain at this lower level. It's all mental. Now there's an idea of good versus bad pain. Now you can have the same pain, right? Where you can like tear a muscle in your shoulder if you move a bit funny, or you can do a shoulders day at the gym and it'll be aching and it'll be like the same pain, but because you've got it in a way that's productive and good, it's not detrimental to your health because you see it as a necessary part of growing. Whereas if you just like moved and tore your muscle, then you'd be pissed off, right? And then that's what brings on the suffering, is because it's seen in such a negative light. So how you perceive the reason for said pain, said injury, said stimulus or response is what affects how you feel about it, how much you suffer, or whether you suffer at all. It's all mental. Now, there's also a very symbiotic and toxic relationship between chronic pain and mental health. The power of compounding is immense, and the power of spiraling is just as bad. It can be so easy to just be suffering with chronic pain, bedridden, a plethora of symptoms that seemingly never ending. If you were to write them down or say them to someone, they think you are crazy. And of course that drives you crazy. You know, you have to be a very, very strong individual to suffer with chronic pain and still be here. There's plenty of reasons to not be here, because life sucks when you suffer that badly for that long. And when you have this cloak of chronic pain, you are defined by it. You are someone with chronic pain. You are someone who suffers with chronic pain, and all these negative connotations. And this is how you describe yourself. This is how you identify yourself. And so along with that comes all the mental health issues: depression, anxiety, social anxiety, trouble sleeping, nightmares, all these things that are just built on top of the suffering that you truly believe you have. And that's the harsh truth that I've discovered, I've figured out for myself, is that that's all it is, just a belief. All these ideas surrounding pain, how it's perceived, how it's interpreted, how you react to it, how you respond to it, how you go about living your day-by-day life, with this as a part of you. It's all mental. This isn't to say that you can't be physically injured, you can't get hurt, you can't fall over, you can't cut your arm on something. You can't be in pain, because of course you can. But the truth that I've had to come to terms with is that all of the suffering, it was all me. It was all created by me. Now, of course, there's external influences as to why you think this, as to why you behave, as to why you respond like this. And a lot of it is from healthcare professionals. The majority of it, all in here. And it's hard to come to terms with, right? Because in my prime, I would swear if someone was to swap bodies with me, they would kill themselves on the spot. Like, I suffered so badly. There was not one single positive thing in any of my days ever. I can't even describe it in words. Life sucked. Life was so bad. And it's really hard to believe that you create this world for you. When you start to look at life in a positive light and you start to really change who you are, how you perceive things and how you look at things, you can look back, or you can take a step back at least, because I'm not completely over it, right? But I don't speak it into existence anymore. And it's healed me. It truly has. Take the step back and think, am I really in pain? Because it can be so ingrained, like, yes, I'm in pain, yes, it hurts, yes, I can't walk, yes, I'm so tired. But you're giving it the power to put you in pain. I define myself as someone in pain, someone with chronic pain, someone with a disability, someone for so long. And of course it would stay and manifest into reality. And that's how I define it myself. I'm not saying it fixes overnight. I'm not saying you start to look at things differently and you'll be healed tomorrow. I'm saying you start to look at things differently, question it, and look positively at everything. No matter how hard it is. No matter how hard it is. Because you will heal. Your body can heal itself. And it will heal itself. It all comes down to belief. Your mentality is what put you in this position. Your mentality is what gets you out of it. Like I said, I'm no expert. This is just what has, hands down, this is what has worked for me. Now, like I said, I'm no expert. Obviously, if you are suffering with a broken leg or something like that, you can heal it, right? You can heal it mentally, but I'm probably out of my depth with that. But with chronic pain, this is exactly how I've healed myself. And I show it every single day. So if you suffer or you want some help, send me a message. I'm here. I'd love to chat.